Good evening, good afternoon. It's JuiceeSaft. Ignore my messy room. Unfortunately, I have not gotten around to cleaning it, and I do not have a chair yet. I need to get a better one. I have a stool, a glorified stool, because the thing broke off. It's right here. Ignore that sound. Broke off from the back of this thing. Snapped right off. It was leaning further back, and I thought, oh, well, that's just letting me have more back arching. Oh, that's just what chairs do. Nope, snapped right off. I fell, and I'll be honest, I was not having a good time. That was at that moment. All of my life went through my eyes, and I've learned or saw every single mistake I've ever had, and hated everything. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Today, normally I save these for podcasts. I haven't done a podcast on my Patreon for a long time. By the way, speaking of, if you would like to see podcasts, there's about 8 episodes. I don't know if you can call them. Some of them are of me drunk, like 2 or 3 of them, one or 2 of them. I don't know why I decide to post them then, but I get drunk, record it, and then go, okay, this is fine, and then put it up, and then I'm too lazy to delete them. So if you'd like to hear that, all you gotta do is go to patreon.com/JuiceeSaft, subscribe for $1. $1. And you can go ahead and listen to that. I'm also writing a book there. Blah, blah, blah. There will be better benefits when I start getting a handle on this whole YouTube, Twitch, and everything, whatever. But speaking of money, let's go into the topic today. Who should pay for dinner? When you ask somebody out, or somebody asks you out. Should the man do it? Should the woman do it? What is a relationship? What should you do in a relationship? What makes a relationship, and what is love? All of that. I saw a Twitter thread and read through the comments, which was my mistake. I shouldn't have done that because Twitter is not full of PhDs. It's full of people constantly berating everybody for having an opinion for anything whatsoever. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's good or bad or whatever. If you even say that you like air, somebody's going to be like, oh, I bet you do. I bet you like air, don't you? Breathing in shit. Just sucking up the oxygen. How dare you? How dare you have oxygen in your lungs right now? I can't believe you. You breathe in oxygen. But what you can't seem to breathe is the truth. We're being kept out. Anyway. But the thread was about, it was this video of this guy saying, this dude was saying like, the general gist was, if you ask me out, you should be paying. Of course, I would pay if I asked you out, but you asked me out, so you should pay. And, you know, it was mixed. It was always mixed. But there was a bunch of women going down the line, a lot of women going all the way down the line saying, no, 50-50 at best, or no, the man should pay no matter what. And there was a bunch of other women that were like, no, that I agree. And there was a bunch of men. It was just all mixed. People came in. It was all mixed down the line. Personally, I can't stop you from having any opinion on anything, however you decide, whether you like to pay for your girlfriend, pay for your boyfriend, pay for whatever. I can't stop you if you decide, communicating wise, to say, okay, I'll pay for this. No, I should always pay, or anything like that. But I really didn't like how many people were saying that a man should pay, no matter what. I just didn't agree with that because me personally, I do pay. I have people pay for me. I've paid for others, and I'd go Dutch sometimes and go 50-50. It really depends on everything. It's always a conversation. If I'm hanging out with friends, then we can split it. Or if I'm feeling generous and I have the money, I'll pay for it. Or if they want to pay for it, it really doesn't matter. But if you are invited out, the person that invites you out typically, socially, should pay for your meal because they wanted to take you out. They asked you to go out. It really isn't that big of a deal if, as a woman, you want to pay for a man's meal. I mean, because really, if you think about it, there are gay relationships. There are tons of different relationships that aren't just heterosexual male-female. Who pays then? Who pays then? If we subscribe to the notion of, society standards, men versus women. So 2 men go out, who pays? Two women go out, who pays? They're both dating. Who goes out? Who pays? So you say, oh, well, they can just switch. Oh, but in a heterosexual relationship, if you're a man, you have to pay. Why? Oh, yeah, they're talking out there. And there's no soundproof for this thing. I need to get some, but oops. Really, it just depends. It really depends on if you're going to have a conversation. They're distracting me now. Why must they talk? Why must they be here? I swear. I usually save these. I usually save these for when I'm alone in the house. If they're my roommate. Well, one of them is my roommate. But whatever. Anyway. So what I'm trying to get at is you really have to get away from this kind of thinking that because you can't just pick and choose. You can't just pick and choose, we should dismantle or destroy the ideas of this, but this is okay, because really it's just bad rhetoric. It's just really bad rhetoric to have to think that because it's no problem. It shouldn't be a problem. If somebody wanted to pay for me, that's no problem. I can easily pay for myself, gladly will pay for myself, and I gladly will pay for the other person if need be. If I do invite them out, if we go out, or if I myself invite them. But if they invite me, I still will try to pay regardless. But if they are refusing to pay, like their entire give me a second. Oh, okay. I thought that was my roommate trying to tell me to quiet down. Unprofessional, I know. I really need to get more soundproofing for this room because I really don't like the fact that they can hear. I really don't like, because it distracts you, and it's like having an audience present while you're just trying to record a video, but whatever. Seriously though, this door over here is like paper motherfucking thin, dude. Also realizing I'm not stretching my back enough. Whatever. Anyway, because then they want to talk to you about it. They're like, oh, I can hear you making a video in there. I can hear you. Really? I didn't know. I gotta be careful though. I don't know how much they can hear. Anyway. Oh God, this is so unprofessional. It's really just about like how much you're willing to talk to the person that you're with. It's really a discussion, because what I get on is if a man and a woman to say that they want to do that whole traditional thing where the man pays for everything, the man is the man of the house or whatever, and she wants to be a housewife and all that and just not do anything. That's their discussion. Now, if need be, if she at least would, when things get hard, still come up to the plate and help out, and it's not just leave it all on the man, because that's it. We're human beings. A man shouldn't have to suffer just because he's the man. So if things are going hard, say he gets laid off, or say that his boss is effing him out of his money, and or bills come up, or he's paying. Shut up. Say that he's paying, and she doesn't, because I grew up with a single mother household who's constantly worked and never had anything really going for her. She's always had to pull in hours on the clock, off the clock, on the table, under the table, you know what I mean? Because that's what you need to do to survive. So in my presence, I've always seen a woman working. That's where I've always seen a woman working, a woman paying, a woman doing her job as a human being and taking care of her own. And so I've never seen women being, taken care of like that, or spoiled or anything like that. Because really, down the line, you're just a person. You really are just a person. If I'm in a relationship with you and I want to spoil you, then that's fine. You should want to spoil a partner, regardless if they're a male or a female. If I would want to be spoiled, I don't really need anything, but it's not. But it should be that we shouldn't just be forcing ourselves to subscribe to this kind of idea that men and women aren't the same. That there are always going to be differences, and there's always going to be, things that men can do and women can't do, and all that. Because usually when we talk about this, this is usually the topic that you get a lot of people who are against it, but are for other dismantlings of gender norms and everything, and then people who are against or are for it and say, yeah, no, we should really get rid of this, but then aren't for anything else. There's a lot of people that do it for convenience. People who are like, yeah, I shouldn't have to pay, but the other things should still happen, versus I shouldn't have to pay, but those other things shouldn't happen either. It's like, they all shouldn't happen. There's a lot of things that are wrong with it. It's not black and white. It's not just, there's degrees to everything. I really can't fucking focus. I can't fucking focus. I'm still going to post this because I'm not letting my current soundproofless area stop me. But so if you'd like to help JuiceeSaft out, no. But that's how it is. And whenever I say that, there are people who are like going to call me broke or anything like that. But I genuinely do pay. I do pay. But if it's about, so it's like, if you're going on a date, that's different. If you ask somebody out on a date, you should pay. If you're dating somebody already, then it's perfectly fine for you to split up every once in a while. Decide, oh, okay, I'll get this. Now, it shouldn't be that every time you're like, because you're dating somebody, you should just have to pay over and over and over again. If you're married, it doesn't matter, because you're sharing expenses at that point. You live together. You're married. It doesn't matter who pays at that point, because the finances are pretty much the same. Your money is their money. Their money is your money, basically. And if you don't think, oh, that's not how it should be, well, you're in a marriage. You're conjoined. You're saying, let's do this together. Let's take this on. Let's take life on. And at that point, it really doesn't matter who pays. But in a relationship, it really should be a communication. If you're going on dates, it's really up to both of you to just talk about that beforehand, Don't go to the date expecting not to pay. Don't go to the date expecting them to pay. Just talk to them like, hey, so are you going to pay for it? And they're like, no, you should pay. And you go, I'm not comfortable with that. Because I wouldn't be comfortable with the idea, because I would still pay. Like, I would genuinely, like, if somebody asked me on a date and I was going to go out with them, I'd still pay. Because I just would like to do that. If I'm going on a date with somebody, if they invited me to a date, I would still, okay, hey, let me pay for your meal. But if I ask them, like, oh, were you going to pay? And they go, why should I? No, then I wouldn't. That's just me. And it's perfectly fine if you don't agree with that. It's perfectly fine if you don't want that in your life. If you want the man to pay all the time. I'm just saying that I don't agree with that myself. That it's really about struggling together, really. I don't know. I came from a very poor environment, and the communities I was in, it was always about sticking together, fighting the fight together at the same time. Now, if you have a lot of money, you're rich, or you're very well off, conditionally to that, just pay, because you have the money. You're much better off for that. It's kind of petty if, while you have a lot of money, you refuse to pay. If you're like me in a poor environment and every bill matters, a small dinner that's like $100, it's not really a small dinner, but $100 of a meal, because some places do charge pretty fucking exorbitant, which would set you back, then that's still a discussion. But if I was well off, then I wouldn't care. I would pay every time, because I have the money. I don't give a crap. You invite me out, I invite you out. It really doesn't matter at that point. But it's a discussion of that. It's really not even a gender issue. It's not a gender issue. It's an issue of, how are you two? How are you doing? If I say I went on a date with somebody, a woman that had like a house, well off, money in the bank, didn't have to worry for anything, has a well-paying job, but then still expected me to pay when I'm struggling right now, I would do it anyway. I would still, like, if beforehand I asked and she said, no, I'll pay for it, I would still go, nah, I got it. Easily. Because it's really just about that for me. It's about the effort that you're willing to put in. I would be very insulted if, well, you have money. Why does it matter if I pay? I don't know. That's maybe broke inward talk, but, you know. Because it'd be like, if I was going on a date with somebody and I had a lot more money than them and they were struggling, like as a man, and I say, no, the woman invited me, she should pay. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't know. And then on to relationships and everything like that. It's really about communication, talking. We really want that. We all are subscribing, following this notion of that fairy tale relationship, fairy tale marriage, and fairy tale idea of being with people. But really, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. That's not how it really is. There is no one. The one is really who you decide is the one. The one is somebody that you meet and go, this is the person I want to be with. Not the one soulmate meant for you. It's just there's billions of people on the planet. You're going to meet a whole bunch of people. I think I'm going to continue this another time because I can't make videos when people are listening. It bothers me. So I probably wasn't able to say this in the best way. Probably missed out. I'm whispering now because I really just hate it. Because it feels like they're just fucking standing there. Like, you know? They're not fucking talking. They're not doing it. What are they fucking doing? Are they fucking, like, standing there just, like, listening into my conversation with myself? Can I help you? Can I assist you with something? Do you need something? I hope I'm not being too loud because these walls are paper fucking thin. So, we'll get on to that. Hey guys, I know that I am Tik Tok famous, and I have no real following here on YouTube. I'd call it real following because it's 3,000, or on Twitch, but still 700. Like, numbers don't mean anything to me, really. It's all about the fans. I consider you guys my fans. I consider you guys, if you subscribe to me from TikTok and you came here and you're on my Discord and you're all that, I consider you somebody that enjoys my stuff enough to do that. So I thank you, and I really couldn't have done any of this without you. Please help me into my suffering. I just need to get an acoustic blanket, more of these things, something to put on underneath the door, because this place has no fucking carpet. And help me. Why should I have to pay for JuiceeSaft? We're on the topic of who should pay, and I'm asking people. Anyway, if you'd like to join my Patreon, if you'd like to get some merch, if you'd like to subscribe to my Twitch, if you'd like to follow me in all of these places, just like the video, do anything, help me, support me, help me get to a little bit higher. I'd like to put out more high-quality videos. I will make a part 2 to this that's a little bit better off. I will try to do it when no one can hear me. But yeah, please have a wonderful day. Patreon, it'll all be in the description. You guys have a good day.